Anyway, we're getting to the, I guess you could say the meat and potatoes of this game. And I know there's a cool guy I really like on here, or was on here, uh, Chance, a guy named Chance, paddling on here, or Panlin. He hates this part. I just don't think this part's that bad. From, from, from the part where you go from Lucas Baker's living quarters to the end of the game is actually the better parts of the game. I mean, this game has grown on me in some regard. I hated the RE engine at first, but I really think they must have patched it because it just used to look off to me. Now it doesn't look. Now it looks all right. Maybe they patched this game. But yeah, Evie's whole plot, and it's like that would have been interesting in a Resident Evil Revelations game. They really should have took that character, Evie, and scrapped this entire thing and made it a Revelations game with Jill Valentine. Made some kind of spin off of Jill Valentine because she hasn't been in a Resident Evil game canonically since part 5. I know Revelations 1 came out first, or Revelations 1 came out after part 5. Well, but see, part 5 takes place before, or Revelations 1 takes place before part 5. Therefore, in the timeline, that was her last appearance.
What was that?
I don't know. You went through it. You tell me. But yeah, you're just basically going to get a backstory on the work she was doing, that she had this job. I really don't know who she worked for. I do feel bad. I mean, and I will say this from what I understand with Part 8 is Ethan is killed. It's like, so you invested this game. So you created a new character just to kill him off. Then again, wasn't Steve Burnside a new character? Everybody hates him too. I thought Steve Burnside was all right. I just didn't like him. Code Veronica, how they tried to give us this romance, forced romance. Yeah, that's what it was. It was just the forced romance, and yes, he was kind of annoying, but you got to keep in mind the character Steve Burnside. His mother was killed. Him and his dad were locked up. His dad was infected with the T virus. He had to kill him, so you can kind of give a little bit of leeway with that. Excuse me if that burp made it. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, this part does feel sort of like a. This part's kind of good. This part isn't bad, I don't think. The exploring of the tanker. This, I will say, doesn't feel like Resident Evil, this part, but it's not by any means terrible. It's
Settle down, little girl. Settle.
Are you remembering?
What? What are you?
again that by
You said we could be a family.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
See, I have no complaints about this part. Really. Really, I don't have any complaints about this part. I'm sorry about if I'm not talking as much. It's just this part here I really don't have any complaints about. And see, you don't have any means to defend yourself in this part. So that even added a little tension to this part. I'm thinking, well, I was playing this, oh, whatever, thanks for nothing. I have no means to defend myself, which was actually pretty good. That, in some in the regard that, in regard of having some suspense and some tension. But now I got some means to defend myself. Oh, well, yes and no. 2 bullets, yippee. It's really going to take them down. Yeah, I'm sure 2 bullets is going to show those regenerator rejects who's boss. Right here, I can't maneuver my way out because, once again, it's first person. You don't have... You don't have a way to maneuver your way past them, like in the classic Resident Evils. And I read this document here. Yeah. Written by one of the crew members. Some of the vagueness, when I talked about like vagueness, that's the only problem I have is it's trying to be too vague, and it didn't work for this game. I'm trying to be as vague as it was. I mean, not like Evil Within, because hey, that was a totally original, brand new game. It's like this. This is a... Yeah, it just didn't work in this game's favor. it worked that in that game's favor because it was meant to be a standalone game. Because it was a standalone game. It was not being a sequel, even though in some regards Evil Within could have been a sequel to, could have been a sequel in a way to Resident Evil, a Resident Evil game. But it wasn't. This was a new game. This was meant to be a new game, or is a new game in the franchise, and it's like it was being too vague. And it was being too vague. I mean, the vagueness would have been okay if this was standalone, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. And some people say, well, Resident Evil 4 really isn't a sequel. Yes, it is. It mentioned the events of the other games at the beginning. And that the and that Umbrella's out of the way. Only this is a new threat. But there's new threats and new groups that's interested in the bioorganic weapons, the BOWs. That's why Resident Evil, I like Resident Evil 5 and 6 more than this. You can say I'm not a real Resident Evil fan. And it's like, so what? Whatever. Whatever. Even people who don't like Resident Evil 4, I don't tell them they don't like Resident Evil 4. I don't tell them they're not real Resident Evil fans. If they don't like Resident Evil 2 remake or 3 remake, I don't tell them they're not real Resident Evil fans. Fans of the series that prefer over the shoulder. They don't like the new, or they didn't ever like fixed camera angles. I don't tell them they're not real Resident Evil fans because we all have a preference. I enjoy sushi. Not everybody I know is gonna like sushi. Stupid comparison. But that doesn't mean they don't know what real eating is. She wants us to watch another tape. This part coming up, I would have done this. I would have actually just came into my head real quick. This part I would have made fixed camera angles. And I would have given you the option if you wanted to use first person fixed camera or third or over the shoulder. But this part would have definitely had the option to be fixed camera angles. As this tape's taking a while to start up, and there's 50 seconds left for this part. As this tape came out of, showing these events, I don't know how. Did they have like a GoPro or whatever they're called, and then they just converted all this shit to VHS? Yeah, that's one of the problems. Okay.